Social media, a medium that enables us to interact with each other at the click of a button, to share our thoughts, opinions, and events in our lives instantaneously. And while this trend has become popularized in the past 11 years, it has dramatically changed our lives and the way we communicate. But over those years, it has also shaped a generation that has become increasingly illiterate, conformist, and gullible. Today, I'm going to discuss the concept that social media is producing a generation that does not think. A generation that is intellectually capable, but through the effects of social media and the internet, is becoming intellectually lazy. In 2010, it was recorded that Australia used social media websites the most out of everyone in the world, with over 9 million users spending an average of 9 hours online per month. And while this figure is really quite staggering, statistics show that 93% of teenagers between the ages of 12 and 17 use social media every day. When the trend of social media burst into our lives, not only were we introduced to another way of communicating, but also a whole different language. This language, associated with communicating with each other through technology, includes the shortening of words by excluding some letters, the creating of acronyms for commonly used phrases, and sometimes even the implementation of a couple of numbers to replace a few letters. This language is destroying the proper way that some tweens and even some children should be communicating. The generations that will be raised up closer with social media won't be able to tell the difference between the proper spellings of words and the uselessly shortened words, because, for example, a person couldn't be bothered to take 1 extra second to press the Y and O buttons to make the whole word U instead of just the letter U. The use of this language doesn't just make people seem lazy, but also unintelligent. We've heard of employers viewing the Facebook profiles of job candidates, so think of this. Do you think that an employer would be more likely to employ someone that has a profile full of proper spelling, full sentences, and appropriate punctuation? Or the profile full of unneeded capital letters, no punctuation, and lists of useless hashtags at the end of a sentence? This tech language, created by social media, will only continue to evolve for many years to come. And let's hope that us, as intelligent individuals, may continue to use normal English. Furthermore, while the trend of the language used on the internet has been evident for some time, there have been other trends that have only recently come into life. Another trend that has been popularized, is mainly on Facebook, is the liking of pages. This trend has taught us to conform to the likes of others and not value our own opinions and thoughts. Originally, it was created to direct information related to our page to our newsfeed, for example, the page of a band posting tour dates. This feature on Facebook has seemingly lost its meaning. Now pages on Facebook are merely phrases that somebody reads and thinks, "Huh, that's funny," or "Oh my god, I hate when a mosquito bites me too," to which that person likes the page and never hears from it again. Or the newsfeed gets flooded with advertisements and pointless photos. Pages, like the one for the CSIRO, where they share developments and news about their scientific discoveries, has a mere 23,000 likes, which is hugely overshadowed by the page I Love My Mum, which has 5 million likes. It really seems like today's generation feels the need to reinforce their feelings through the liking of a page. Why do we need to like a page to reassure ourselves that we really do love our mothers? The use of pages on Facebook is yet another example of how social networking sites and the internet are producing a generation that is mindless, and in this case, likes pages to which they make the slightest and most mundane connection to. And while the pages on Facebook freely post information on various topics, many consumers are unaware of the big problem that many people don't take into account. This problem is a problem of misinformation that not only occurs on social media, but throughout the whole internet. It is one of the biggest problems that we face today when reading anything online. And through the effects of social media, we have been made gullible and unaware of these dangers. In this new age, when we hear about news stories faster through social media than traditional means, like news sites and television, it can make it extremely difficult to find the truth among lies. especially when many posts on social media are filled with personal bias, opinions, and opinions rather than facts. There have been multiple cases where celebrities have been rumoured to have died or disasters have occurred, to which that rumour continued to spread, because rather than simply entering what has been said into Google, a post was taken at face value, without thinking that it may or may not be true. In addition, programs such as Photoshop, if wielded by the right people, can create amazingly realistic images that you wouldn't even suspect are fake. Now, I'd like to show you some photos. Look closely and decide for yourself if you think they're real images or computer generated. This is really quite staggering, and this is actually a fake image produced by a computer. This one is also very realistic and also fake. This one, really quite convincing, but actually it's real. This one, as you can see, is actually fake. This one, very convincing, and actually it's real. But the last one, this one looks like it's a real photo, and it's actually computer generated as well. So as you can see, not everything is always as it seems. And while you can be fooled by images, you can just as easily be fooled by text. This ability to fool people and spread rumors so easily is highly destructive, especially when users of social media are unaware of the truth. Generations are being brought up more and more closely with the use of social media and the internet, and yet they still seem to be unaware of how easy it is to be fed lies, and they do not even think to challenge the validity of the words they read. And while some would argue that social media has benefited our generation by allowing us to make friends that we wouldn't have been able to before, it has in truth trivialized relationships. It has in turn reduced friendship down to a number. Social media has trivialized our real-world relationships by making it easier for us to interact. For example, wishing each other happy birthday through an emotionless message, rather than simply calling our friends or saying it face to face. And while you may have 400 friends on Facebook, studies have shown that you can only properly maintain 150 relationships. So the next time you look at your list of Facebook friends, think, would I invite this person into my home? Social media has taught our generation that generations on the internet carry the same social worth as interactions in the real world. Clearly, this view has promoted laziness and neglect for face-to-face interaction. The introduction of social media into our lives has impacted it in many ways that are not entirely positive. It's teaching us that the simple action of typing out a whole sentence isn't necessary, and that we should like meaningless pages just to add them to our profile because we feel a mundane connection to them. And finally, leaves us unaware of the dangers of misinformation and how easily we can be lied to through text and images. Our generation faces a time when we are being intellectually restrained due to overuse of social media. And as Einstein once said, any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. In other words, people who read far too much and don't make up enough of their own opinions will only continue to do so and just become a sheep in the herd of social media. So honestly ask yourselves, is overuse of social media having a negative impact on you? Thank you.